Welcome to Project Cerebrum. I'm your host, and this is a space where complex ideas become surprisingly simple. Today, we're diving into something that affects every one of us, every single day. The paradox of choice. Imagine walking into a supermarket to buy a bottle of olive oil. 20 years ago, you might have had 2 or 3 options. Today, you're staring at an entire wall of bottles. Cold-pressed, extra virgin, light, robust, Greek, Italian, Spanish, organic, flavored, unflavored. The options seem endless, and in that moment, something interesting happens in your brain. What should be a simple decision becomes oddly stressful. You feel the pressure to make the perfect choice. Maybe you even walk away without buying anything at all. That feeling, that's the paradox of choice, the counterintuitive idea that more options can actually make us less happy and less decisive. The term was popularized by psychologist Barry Schwartz in 2004, but the concept has only grown more relevant in our hyper-connected world. Today, we face an unprecedented number of choices. 24 flavors of jam at the grocery store, 36 types of toothpaste, over 800,000 podcasts to listen to, and nearly infinite content waiting for us on streaming platforms. Our ancestors would be baffled by the sheer volume of decisions we make before breakfast. So, why exactly does abundance lead to anxiety? Let's break it down into 3 parts. First, decision paralysis. When faced with too many options, our brains get overwhelmed. We freeze, we procrastinate. A study at Columbia University found that when presented with 24 varieties of jam to sample, only 3% of customers made a purchase. But when presented with just 6 varieties, that number jumped to 30%. 10 times more people bought jam when given fewer options. Second, opportunity cost. Each time we choose something, we're simultaneously not choosing something else. The more options available, the more potential paths we're rejecting. This creates a mental burden, the nagging feeling that maybe we're missing out on something better. And finally, expectation inflation. When we have many options, we expect to find the perfect choice. This raises our standards to often unrealistic levels. Then, when our selection inevitably falls short of perfection, we feel disappointed, even if it's objectively good. But here's where it gets interesting. This paradox doesn't affect everyone equally. Researchers have identified 2 distinct types of decision makers: maximizers, people who strive to make the absolute best possible choice, examining every option extensively, and satisficers, a term coined by Nobel laureate Herbert Simon, who look for something that meets their basic criteria and then stop searching. Care to guess which group tends to be happier? Satisficers consistently report greater satisfaction with their decisions and lower levels of regret. They're also more efficient with their time and mental energy. Maximizers, despite their thorough approach, often end up less satisfied even when they objectively make better choices. They're more prone to second-guessing and buyer's remorse. So what can we do with this knowledge? How do we navigate a world of unlimited options without drowning in decision fatigue? Here are 3 practical strategies. First, set personal limits. Before shopping online or browsing Netflix, give yourself a time limit or a maximum number of options to consider. Maybe you'll look at 5 mattresses, not 50. 3 restaurants, not 20. Second, practice satisficing. Define your key requirements beforehand and stop looking once you find an option that meets them. The perfect is often the enemy of the good. Third, make some decisions automatic. Former President Obama famously wore only blue or grey suits to reduce decision fatigue. What daily choices could you standardize to free up mental bandwidth? Here's something to consider. Maybe freedom isn't about having infinite options. Maybe true freedom is having the clarity to know what matters to you and the confidence to choose without looking back. In our quest for optionality, we sometimes forget that constraints can be liberating. Boundaries give shape to our choices. Limits give meaning to our freedom. Next time you feel overwhelmed by choices, remember, the goal isn't to make the absolute best decision possible. It's to make a good enough decision and then move forward. Because ultimately, what makes a choice right isn't how it compares to all other possible options. It's what you make of that choice after you've made it. This is Project Cerebrum. I'm your host, and I'll be back next week exploring why our brains are wired to remember negative experiences more vividly than positive ones, and what we can do about it. Until then, choose wisely, but not too wisely.